Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Pluto TV. Are you looking for your next case? Pluto TV has all your favorite crime dramas streaming for free, which means suspicion is free, with countless cases to crack. Watch CSI, Criminal Minds, NCIS, Blue Bloods, Tracker, FBI, and SWAT, all for free from all your favorite devices. Feel the free. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
Hey everyone, just stepping in here to say that we'll be taking next week off and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Enjoy our 200th episode celebration. Live, Laugh, Larceny discusses true petty crimes that may be disturbing to some.
Or could be easy listening to all you psychopaths out there.
All stories are based on actual events, but details may vary.
Listener discretion is not advised.
Live,
Laugh,
Larceny. Welcome to Live, Laugh, Larceny, the show that's too crimey for the comedy crowd and too comedy for the crime crowd. This is Trevin, and we are celebrating 200.
It is our
Mabel is too.
It is our 200th episode, and I'm Amanda.
Oh, it's so exciting. That was an intro line that I wrote a long time ago because that was almost a frustrated feeling I was going through one time because I was like, how do I market this thing?
It's like we're too crimey for them. We're too comedy for them.
We are looking back this week. There's no stories. We're just looking back and feeling nostalgic and looking back at that old intro line. It reminded me of how we started when we thought we had to just be true crime.
Totally. Our humble beginnings.
I think we were, 4 months old when we went to our first...
Yep.
The True Crime Podcast Festival came through Kansas City, and had we not actually spread our wings and tried that out, maybe we wouldn't be where we are today.
Honestly, Trevin, it's been a wild journey.
It really has.
4 years, 200 episodes, and today is going to just be a special ass day.
A very special day. But what I was going to say is when I was having a problem with this, when we were just in the true crime crowd, a lot of people were like, don't use the C word.
Oh,
don't say comedy.
Totally, they would.
They still kind of will, certain people, if we talk to them and they don't quite realize who we are or what we do. But they're just like, oh, use lighthearted. Like if you're going to put anything anywhere, never use comedy. It will just run people away. And this is 4 years of us telling people that, no, we're going to stick with using the word comedy.
I don't know what else we could call ourselves.
Yeah.
It is interesting that we've been trying to navigate this world for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we started off as Seriously Sinister for the first, year? Over a year?
It was over a year. Wait a minute. Yes, it was over a year. Mm-hmm.
That's wild. I always wonder for people who are newer, if they're going and starting from the beginning, they're like, what the fuck?
I think some people do. We got an email not too long ago. Somebody said, when does it stop being SS and become 3L? And it's between 67 and 69. I can't remember.
For our whole little inside joke, I hope it's 69.
I think it might be that 69 was the last Seriously Sinister, and then 70 is the first Live, Laugh, Larceny.
How fucking fitting would that be?
Do you remember the name of episode 69? I'll never forget it.
Oh, was it Wine, Crime, and 69?
Nope.
What was it?
It was You Can't Blow, So I'll Suck.
So many good episode title.
Yes. Wine Crimed in 69, we record at your parents' old house. I remember that, actually.
That was such a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And now we only record here. It would be weird to record anywhere else.
I know. When we go places and they say, like, oh, there's a studio for podcasters, I'm like, I don't know if Amanda and I could do it.
Like, how do we function? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to give a proper shout out to one of our listeners before we jump into our award show that we are doing today.
Oh, yes. We didn't say it. We're doing an award show.
I don't even know what we should call it. The Petty Awards? I don't know.
No, it seems to be what we usually do is just tack Petty on something. And
just throw Petty in front of it. And, there we have it. So I wanted to give a shout out to Eric for sending us a message on Facebook and recommending the idea of doing an award show. What a freaking good idea.
And I'm glad that you saw it because we don't see those Facebook messages very well for some reason.
No, I think when I read it, it was like written a few days earlier. So I wish I would have seen it sooner because it would have given more time to vote. But that's okay. That's okay. Thank you so much, Eric. What a fun idea to just kind of look back on the past 4 years and have all of our Patreon members voting on this meant a lot to me too, because I wanted to give them their special little treat of being the ones that could cast the ballots.
Yeah, and it was just great to see that many people care to that level.
I know. So, anything you want to say before we jump into this, Trevin?
I don't think so. I'm ready to celebrate and just look back and excited that I don't have to edit stories this week.
Oh, God, I am sure you are, especially after the Lord of the Rings episode.
Oh, God, yes. I was getting that one put together and I'm like, how have I not won an award yet? Like, I'm not like that cocky about stuff, but I'm sitting here doing this weekly and just, I think I need some kind of props.
Well, I will get you an award. And you know what's funny? So we're both like Office fans, and you know how they had the Dundies?
Yes.
We could just call this the Petties.
Okay, that feels better.
Okay, so let's do that, Trevin. We are calling this the Petties.
Dun, dun, dun.
Welcome to the award show that we just made up. Woo!
Yeah, I wasn't even about to try to join that.
So, Trevin, I'm going to start with our first category.
Oh, boy.
Which is Sexiest Crime.
Ooh, I can't remember what our first one was.
Well, I don't know. I don't know which one was the very first, but one of the nominees was from episode 14.
Oh.
But I don't know if that was our very first. I don't know.
That does seem really early,
That
though.
seems early for us to dip our toe in the sexy pond.
I know. It seems like once we made it through, we've just started getting bigger and bigger as we go into it, like sexier and sexier.
I'm obsessed. What can I say? I know. I feel like we were both kind of afraid to do it. I still, to this day, remember the first time you were like, okay, Amanda, I need you to send me some sexual moaning sound effects. And I was like, Trevin, what the fuck?
Yeah, what are you making me do?
But it needed to be done. And I think now, if you were to send me something like that, I'd be like, just another day in the office.
Yeah, it's totally normal. One week where you were sick and I had to get somebody to do female vocals for me. And I asked Emily and it started a fight because she didn't want to be recorded. But I asked Cassie from P&W Haunts and Homicides and I needed to have sexy moans. And I was like, please don't think this is too weird. And Cassie, she did it.
I did not know you had to ask someone else for that.
She did great too.
My apologies and shout out to Cassie.
Yeah, it's my text tone.
You dirty dog. So are you ready for the nominees, Trevin?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the 14th episode one is that's sexy.
So I didn't include the episode number or the episode title on Patreon for them to vote just because I was trying to fit it into the poll bubble. But for this, I am going to say episode, the title's everything, okay?
Sweet.
So for Sexiest Crime, I narrowed it down to 3 nominees each. And then I also let our patrons write in if they wanted to add their own.
Yeah, because if people are still talking about it, I don't mind talking about it again, even if it doesn't win.
Totally. So here we go. Episode 14, Bring Your Female to Work Day. Amanda's story titled Ferris Wheel Fornicators, about the couple performing oral sex on the Vegas ride.
Oh, that might have actually been the very first one.
I think it might have been, because I remember when I told it, you were like, oh my.
I was probably turning so red. Yeah, because that was the first time I had to do something sexy. And in the very beginning, I wasn't quite a sound designer to the level I am now. So I was just kind of like story with sound effects. I wasn't building like rooms and stuff.
Right.
And you said that they did like cunnilingus, I believe. And I was just like, blah, blah, blah. Like that was the sound effect I did. Now, today, I would be doing like weird squelching and funny cartoon noises. But
squelching.
But yes, that was probably the first one for sure.
So yes, that's the one. Next nominee from episode 79, Nude Dudes and Attitudes, Trevin's story titled Carnal Distractions, about the couple who uses maple syrup during sex and the man secretly records it.
In someone else's house.
Yeah, because didn't it start off where they were supposed to be like moving?
They were either moving stuff for somebody or doing like landscaping or something.
Okay,
like that.
yeah. They were supposed to be working, not having syrup sex.
Yeah, and he seduced her by being naked. Like she walked in to check on him. He was naked looking at the laptop, which I think was the homeowner's laptop.
All I know is I vividly remembered that one. When I was like Sexiest Crime, I was like, syrup. I have to find the syrup one, because that one I remember was like probably the most sexual in the writing. So that had to be included. And then for our third nominee, episode 169, Big Thirst in Margarita Canyon, Trevin's story titled A Mouthful of Mischief, couple butt-chugging margaritas in the Mexican restaurant.
I still think about that one very fondly. It's not that old, but I still think about it a lot.
Yeah, it's just a good old classic butt chug. I mean,
I was in Denver for True Crime Podcast Festival when the news broke, and I was in between things. I was like, oh, I hope Amanda doesn't see this between the time I leave here and get home to write it.
I still remember that one because I was like, the gall. Not only were they doing that in front of their friends, but they were doing it in front of the whole restaurant. And like anything that's chips and salsa adjacent, I mean, it grabs my attention instantly. So
yeah, and you don't want to be thinking about ass to mouth before having chips and salsa.
Not even one time do I want to be thinking about it. So Trevin, are you ready? The results are in. We had no write-ins. Everyone was, I guess, pleased with those nominees. Are you ready for the winner?
I am.
And the winner, earning 83% of the votes, A Mouthful of Mischief, couple butt-chugging margaritas in a Mexican restaurant booth.
Wow. I mean, that is definitely a greatest hit for sure. I mean, I understand, but it's so hard to just give up the syrup and jelly.
I know.
But
I know.
I love the story, and it is an all-timer for sure.
And I kind of love that we had a little more to say about the other two, but this one still deserves the win because we can think fondly of him doesn't mean it's the sexiest.
That's true, and everybody is probably on the same page as you with the Hispanic cuisine.
All right. The next category... This is one that when Eric sent us the message, he did include this as one of the categories. So thank you again, Eric, for this amazing suggestion.
Oh, he's always got so many good ones.
Yes, but this one was a little harder for me to think back and think through all of them because the next category is most dreadful dilemma.
Oh, God.
We've had so many.
Yeah.
Because you haven't looked at the nominees, have you, on all of them?
Well, you sent me...
Did you read through all of them?
I did, but I remember I think you had said my toe was one of them. That's the only thing I remember.
You guys, the first thing I sent to Trevin when this came up was, I nominate your toe fungus. Like, it had to be on there, had to be, okay? It just did.
Which my toe has been there twice for the fungus and the time it broke.
Ew, yes. Yeah. Oh, Trevin. So, are you ready, though, for the nominees?
Yes, and I think I know which one I would pick for myself already.
Oh, what would it be?
You know, I think yours with the home security guy, that one I think gets me the most.
I didn't even include that. That's such a creepy good one. And we did get so much
People are like, call the
feedback.
police.
Yeah, people were like, Amanda, you're not safe.
Yeah, look for cameras in your bathroom.
Which I did, guys. I looked and looked and looked. That guy was a big old creep, though. And thank you guys for being so protective of me. That was such a weird situation. But yeah, what would yours be? What would your most dreadful dilemma?
Oh, geez. That was just me thinking of the most all-time one.
Okay.
I think you had the worst one with that one.
Okay.
That was just a good story that would have been a good TikTok or something.
No, seriously. Okay, well, these are the nominees, Trevin. From episode 42, High Powered Teeth, Amanda's daughter going through a phase of asking every woman if they were pregnant. That was a dreadful time.
Yeah, it does make me cringe anytime that question gets popped to a woman.
I mean, it was like all consuming. It was like the only thing she could think about because I was pregnant at the time and she just assumed that meant every other woman was. It's just really awkward when a kid is just doing things and you have no control over it. And all you can do is try to tell him like, hey, that's inappropriate. Please don't freaking say that again.
Yeah, like take her out in public and just hope she doesn't do it. But you can't really stop her.
And the next nominee from episode 164, The Deep End of Madness, Trevin's toenail fungus, everyone.
It was a really dreadful dilemma.
I mean, need I say more? You got a toenail fungus, you lost a big chunk of your big toenail, right?
Yeah, pretty much the entire toenail, yeah.
Where is it today?
Oh, I think I threw it away.
No, I
need. It is actually looking pretty normal, I'd say.
Because I remember for a long time, you just had like this creepy layer of hardened skin, and it was very startling.
Yes, ever since that happened, I take care of my feet very well, and I have a tea tree oil something or whatever, and I have a scrubby brush, and I scrub my feet every shower.
Oh my God, Trevin.
I try to take much better care now.
Very good job. What an improvement. The third and final nominee comes from an episode not far from 164, episode 166, titled The Spookster with the Ratchet Set. Amanda gets mistaken for her dad's wife by strangers twice.
Yeah, that one, I imagine for a woman would be so terrible.
I still remember, because this is when we had 3 spooked girls on. The title rung the bell for me.
Yep.
But I remember telling it, because I was like, you guys, and I remember I had 2 other gals to kind of vent about it. Such a dreadful time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the people are going to pick. Were there write-ins?
There were no write-ins, but Trevin, we have a tie.
My toe's one of them, isn't it?
No.
Oh, cool. It's not that bad.
No. Your toenail fungus only got 17% of the votes right now. When Lila kept asking if every woman was pregnant, and when I was mistaken for my dad's wife twice, both have 42% of the votes.
Damn. You know, I will say it's interesting that these are the 2 most dreadful dilemmas when they're kind of crimes against women's emotions.
Totally.
That's how you know it's dreadful. If a woman is getting upset, maybe don't do it.
Oh, yeah. Don't upset a woman.
That's literally been my mantra my whole life, and that's how I've gotten where I am today.
Trevin, don't upset a woman. Did a woman tell you that?
A very angry one.
So I think we are allowed to break this tie. What do you think?
Yeah, we're allowed to break it.
What do you think? Which one out of the 2?
I think the pregnancy one.
Yeah. The vain part of me and like the comedy part of me wants to pick the dad's wife one.
Yeah.
But honest to God, like in real life, that is the most cringy bullshit that parents have to deal with.
Yeah, that is super cringy. And you could kind of sway it and say like, oh, you just look like a hot older man's side
That's
trophy
true.
wife. Like that's kind of a compliment.
That's true.
But if somebody mistakes you for pregnant, it's hard to see the silver lining in that if you're not pregnant.
It's like, God damn it, I ate too much Taco Bell today. Yeah, it's hard to do. So
it's gas.
I'm with you. I think we are going to give this winner to when my daughter asked if every woman was pregnant.
Thanks, Winnie. Thanks, Lila.
I mean, Winnie kind of stemmed it from being in my belly. So
That's a good point.
Don't miss your chance to spring into deals at Lowe's. Right now, get a free 60-volt Toro battery when you purchase a select 60-volt Toro electric mower. Plus, buy 3 19.3-ounce vegetable and herb Bonnie plants for just $10. It's time to give your yard a grow-up. Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 4/23. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. The Department of Defense is working with Google to help secure America's digital defense systems, from establishing cloud-based zero-trust solutions to deploying the latest AI technology. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
The missing child is Lucia Blix, 9 years old.
Please, let her come back home safely.
Thursdays. The kidnappers planned it meticulously.
If money is what it takes to get her back, we're going to pay it.
The secrets they hide.
You can't talk about this. You can't write about it.
Are the clues.
The mother's hiding something, I know it.
To find her.
Tell me where she is.
The Stolen Girl. New episodes Thursdays. Stream on Hulu.
Okay, this was another great one. And I was just telling you before we recorded that this one was really hard for me to even come up with the nominations for, because we at least have had some documentation of the crimes we've told over the years in some sort of organizational form, whether it be in the description of the newer episodes or a spreadsheet of the old ones or something.
Yeah, it's a combination of at least those two things.
Yes. However, when it comes to killer facts, I don't have just a list. I had to just kind of go through my memories and go through the episodes and just kind of reflect.
And you want to know what's absolute horseshit too? And let me just tell any of you who's thinking about starting a podcast, do not make the synopsis of your episode try to bring people in, because I think I spent the first 100 episodes never giving away what we're doing, because I'm trying to I grew up collecting movies, so I always read the back of DVDs all the time. It's just oh, detective whatever is doing this to look for this and blah, blah, blah. Will he find it? Who knows? So I was kind of doing that same thing with our show. And it's just Amanda brings something that's going to knock Trevin in the dirt, and maybe you're going to say something about dirt. But I never said Amanda taught us about the place with the crooked floors or whatever like that. So then it hurt us in the long run because we can't search it. And if somebody was searching for a podcast about those things, they would not find us. I need to go back and fix a whole bunch of them.
That's on my to-do list of future plans, because seriously, even just now going through all of them for this, I was like, God dang, I wish I had a little more context to go off of. Because it was written very oh my goodness. But what? We didn't know what we were doing, guys.
No, we didn't at all. I just figured that everybody was going to see my episode titles and then say, wonder what this thing's about. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we were SEO, keywords, what?
Yeah, it's well, what about the suspense?
Yeah, what about the mystery, damn it?
So just learn from me. I'm not mad about it.
We can all learn and grow, Trevin.
Yes.
He's I'm not bitter. I just think about it every night after dinner.
I just whip myself before bed every night over it.
So that brings us to our next category, which is most memorable killer fact.
Oh, damn.
So the nominees, Trevin, we are going all the way back to episode 1 for our first nominee. Episode 1, titled The Mellified Man Always Knocks Twice, and it is indeed the fact about mellified men.
I love that fact. I still look back at that, and that was just a really great one to start it on.
I mean, I won't ever forget it. I think it's something that even if you weren't a day one listener of ours, most people do at least listen to episode 1. So I feel like even the newer listeners probably know about that fact.
Yeah, definitely.
So the way I wrote it on Patreon to vote, so mellified men, also known as human mummy confection.
Yeah, and that started us with kind of doing mummy facts at random points. And I can't remember if it was our 1-year episode or 2-year, something like that. We named it Hey Holy Mummy because it was in reference to bringing a different mummy fact, just to call back.
Yep, yes. It led the charge to many other mummification and weird death facts. So our next nominee comes from episode 29, Highway Ass Magnet. And it was my fact about Lucifer, the giant blue killer horse outside of the Denver airport.
And that's the one where it fell and killed the creator.
Yes, and it's something that we've talked about many times on other episodes way later. It was the art that killed its creator and just a weird, haunting story. And also, the Denver airport just by itself has its own lore and its own mysteries. And then to have this red, glowing-eyed, giant blue horse that killed its creator just pranced out in front is very bizarre.
Yeah, what kind of message are you sending to people that are either coming to or leaving Denver?
A weird one.
Nay.
A weird neighing message, Trevin. And our third nominee from episode 139, Big Crime, Small World, was your fact about Barbra Streisand's cloned dogs.
Oh, yeah, that was so surprising. I just didn't even know that people were just walking around with cloned dogs until I looked that up.
I just remember that one really vividly, too, because that was kind of around the time where I was making like little videos to go with them. Mm-hmm. And that was one that just stuck with me because I found all the videos and pictures of these dogs. And just like I said on Patreon, I said Barbra Streisand's 2 cloned dogs of her former pooch, Samantha. Mm-hmm. And I just remember that being really interesting, and clones in general are just a bizarre thing.
Yeah, I thought they were just made in labs. I guess I just didn't know it was a consumer product at this point.
Yeah, we were both like, say what?
And the price wasn't it was like 15,000, maybe something like that. It wasn't insane, I guess. I mean, it's insane to me, but you know what I mean.
It's insane to us normal folk, but for Barbra Streisand, I mean, it's just another day.
Yeah, I mean, she did it multiple times.
So, Trevin, are you ready to find out the winner of the most memorable killer fact?
I'm ready. I think it's going to be the mellified man.
Drum roll, please. The winner is from episode 1, the mellified man.
Oh, good.
Now, I also have a comment from one of our voters on this one, and I wanted to share it. This is from Kirsty. So shout out, Kirsty.
Oh, Kirsty, Kitty.
Kitty Bear, as we know her. Mellified Man is definitely the most memorable for me, but it's also probably because I already knew it before the show. So it's one of those things that has always lived rent-free in my brain. Ha. Yeah, and I've never looked at honey quite the same, you know? Mm-hmm. Ever since that day we began, Trevin.
I still think they should make, like, they had the Mrs. Buttersworth that's shaped like a woman. Just make a mummy-shaped bottle and, like, a mellified man honey or something.
It is such a missed marketing opportunity. I don't know what all these honey companies are thinking, but yeah, mellified men bottles, come on. Mm-hmm. We will be a sponsor. So our next category, and this is a fun one. I mean, they're all fun. Mm-hmm. But our next one is Outstanding Naked Criminal.
Okay, yeah. I guess it doesn't have to be a sexy crime to be naked, you know?
Oh, yeah. Most of these naked ones weren't sexy, really.
True.
The first nominee is one that is iconic because not only is it one from our first 3 episodes, it's our episode 3, but it's one that I actually witnessed, and you didn't know that I had witnessed it. It's a whole entire thing. Our first nominee is from episode 3, Grand Meth Auto, Trevin's story titled The Naked Rider, where a Kansas City man was arrested for riding a stolen ATV naked while going the wrong way down the highway.
Yes, he did it down a highway right by where my old job was. You saw it, and then it ended up being my manager at the time, her 4-wheeler that was stolen and ridden.
So many damn connections, and that story really had made it globally. We really should have done a better job of putting the names in these early ones.
His was Jonathan Minth, wasn't it?
Yes.
It ended up being a meme that people used for a lot of different things. I think it was always used in booty call memes.
Yes, it's perfect.
It's like when she texts me, you up, and then it's just him naked on a 4-wheeler.
Iconic. Our next nominee is from episode 79, Nude Dudes and Attitudes, and it was my story titled The Judgment Free Zone. Man works out naked in Planet Fitness and is arrested.
I can still picture the pictures in my head because he had kind of the longer hair.
He had longer hair. It was kind of dark with like speckles of gray in it, even in his facial hair also. And he's just kind of like doing his thing. Like he had a yoga mat, I think. But yeah, the pictures still are very vivid in my mind, unfortunately.
Nude Dudes with Attitudes, which was the one with the syrup jam story. Great naked episode. Obviously, you can see how it got the title.
Yes, clearly it had that as a connection. And our final nominee for Most Outstanding Naked Criminal from episode 139, Big Crime, Small World. My story titled Disney Drugs and One Wild Ride. Naked man on drugs runs through the It's a Small World ride in Disneyland.
That one was such a challenge for me to do the sound design for.
Oh, God, I bet.
To all the little like animatronics and that was such a headache for me. But it also made me better because then I think that was during one of the times where I did change up a little bit of my process to make that.
Really? Okay, so that was like a key growth moment then in the sound design maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that was also because you did all the little voices singing It's a Small World and I had to make that.
I was like, na, 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 na. Yep, I remember.
Yep.
I remember. Well, the votes are in. There were no write-ins for this one, okay? And this one, actually, Trevin, was pretty neck and neck. It's 30%, and 40% of the votes. So this was pretty evenly split. But I am happy to say that the winner is the naked rider. Kansas City man arrested for riding stolen ATV naked the wrong way down a highway.
I've come across him on Facebook a couple times. He graduated like 2 towns away from me. I don't think he's a guy I probably want to talk to, but I probably could get him.
Maybe we should, Trevin. Maybe it's been enough time. Maybe we've earned the right to interview some of these people.
Maybe we can bring him and the 4-wheeler back together.
You can be like, I know the people.
Do like a reunion thing, slow music.
We can make a whole TikTok about it in slow-mo.
And nobody would get it but our listeners.
All right, so our next category is WTF crime, the most what the fuck crime, which is very difficult.
Since most of ours are.
That's our whole brand. We want you to be like, the fuck?
So you want the fuckiest, the fuck.
The fuckiest of the fucks given.
Okay.
So our nominees, Trevin, from episode 90, When a Drunk Stranger Calls, my story titled The Flamin' Hot Kitty, woman calls 911 saying her pussy is on fire.
Yes, I actually was putting the ad markers back in this one this morning, and I came across you saying it, and I was just like, ooh, Amanda saying the word pussy a few times in the sentences. How fun.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I still remember because this was not one that I found for myself. This was one that you found, and you were like, you have to do it. I can't. Like, you got to.
And that was before we had each other do voices for each other, so I was just like, you have to write it.
Yeah, you were like, sorry. Here it is. But I was more than happy to take it on. It was a very fun story to write. Our next nominee from episode 92, High Powered Teeth. Didn't we already have one from there?
Yes, we did. It was a dilemma, I think.
Okay, The Cat's in the Bag.
Oh.
Emily's personal story about the dead cat in a bag being stolen, taken into the restaurant, and then sending the thief to the hospital.
Passing out from finding out it was a cat.
From shock. Literally. Still to this day, when I think of all the weird coincidences and the chain of events that have led to some of these crimes, that one still is top of mind for me.
And it's so early in our show, but still, yeah, that was just one of the best surprises. Even when Emily told, she's like, I'm not much of a storyteller, but it had happened to my friend. And I was just like on the edge of my seat, like, you'd never told me the story before?
Yeah, you're like, what in the actual fuck?
I was so excited to share it.
And then for our final nominee of What the Fuck Crime from episode 149, Dial M for Mischief, Trevin's story titled Antiques and the Empty Man, where the man wearing a kilt shoves antiques up his butt. And didn't he place it back like immediately after?
I believe he did, yeah.
I think he did. Yes. So those are the nominees, Trevin. Are those what the fuck enough for you?
I think so.
Are there any that you think maybe got left out?
The man cutting his feet off is always such a big what the fuck one.
Yeah, that's true. And I thought about doing the man wearing the woman's wig and leaving the dead animals on the grave.
That one definitely could be on there.
Mm-hmm. These can all be honorable mentions because there's so many good WTFs.
Yeah, I kind of forget about the antique one because we just had so many ones. That one's never top of mind, but that one was a good one. And yeah, because he does put them back and he does it on camera.
So disturbing. So what the fuck? So the results are in, and there were a few comments on this poll because a lot of people struggled between what they were choosing. But with a whopping 78% of the votes, the winner is Antiques and the Empty Man. Man in kilt caught on camera shoving antiques up his butt.
Wow. See, that's one of those ones where you make it and you don't think it's going to be a memorable one, and then it ends up being a really memorable one.
So damn memorable, Trevin. So we had some comments I wanted to share. So Claire, shout out Claire, she said, it was a 50-50 split between the pussy call and the antiques up the butt. Then A-Line said same. And then we had another one from Kitty Bear. This one was so hard. I voted for the butt stuffers because butts, duh. But the fiery meow meow was a close second.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, and that one is so memorable. I'll never forget this one.
How can you?
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase of 16 weeks, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
Ever go on a date so bad you need an everything shower? Luckily for you, Billy makes products for that. A loofah full of nourishing body wash can scrub off the cringe from that extremely awkward hug. A full body shave with Billy's award-winning razor will remind you what going smoothly actually feels like. And hydrating body lotion can delete dryness faster than you can delete the dating apps. You've got your reasons. Billy's got your routine. Shop in-store and at mybilly.com.
The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FIELDGOAL. That's code FIELDGOAL for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
So, Trevin, we're going to go a little more heartfelt with this next category.
Oh, good. I've been needing to feel something.
You need to feel the love right now?
Please.
So we're going to talk about the most heartwarming show moment.
We definitely have those. We're very all over the place with emotion sometimes.
We're emotional people. We feel a lot of things. I feel like even though we would probably, you might consider yourself an introvert, I feel like on the podcast, you're really not, though. Like, I feel like we kind of bare our souls. We are very vulnerable to a fault, probably almost. But I feel like both of us really have had a lot of touching things happen.
Oh, yeah. A lot of growth and all of that. I don't know. The show has taught me a lot about myself. And I think at first it was like, oh, I'll put myself out there because like I care more about the show than I care about myself so much. And I just need like somebody should be honest and real. And then it has actually taught me a lot about putting myself out there. And there's something too, like with the recent episode about the flavors of drinks and candies and stuff like that, is I'm realizing that we all seem to think that we're weird because we have these feelings sometimes like, oh, this bothers me or whatever, but we don't ever actually talk about it. I'm finding that the more that I share about myself, the more that I'm hearing that other people feel the same way.
Absolutely.
It makes me feel a lot less alone, and I think it should make us all feel better. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. I almost treat it like discovering a new world, except I'm just discovering my own feelings and hoping that we can all see that we're all discovering the same things.
Absolutely. I think it's been a really cool way that we've gotten to not only bring laughs to everybody, but people actually know us. Like, they know our hearts. They know our struggles, our insecurities. They know our deepest fears, like straight up.
Yes. And I don't mind doing it.
So, are you ready for the nominees?
Yes, I'm ready.
Our first nominee, Trevin asking Amanda to officiate his wedding.
Oh.
How iconic was that?
Didn't Emily come on but she didn't really say it in the mic, but
she was there.
Okay.
That was probably the one and only time she's been close to the mic ever.
Yeah.
Like, even on movie night, she's like not even in the frame.
Yeah, it's Molly, Amanda, and I sitting on a couch, and Emily's just on the sideline.
Just where she likes it, honestly. Yep. But no, that was such a heartwarming and personal moment for me. And to have it on audio is really cool. Our next nominee, Amanda announcing her pregnancy. I don't even really remember how I announced it, and I didn't put down the episode markers, I don't think. No, I didn't.
I don't quite remember how you did it either, because I remember when you told me, and we were like in your kitchen, I think, and I hugged you, so it wasn't on mic.
Yeah, I told you before we recorded, but I can't remember exactly how I told everyone. But I guess it was so personal and nice because not only did I get to announce that I was pregnant with everyone, but anytime I had a weird pregnancy side effect, or like anytime I had a weird craving, or when I was talking about naming the baby and how it later became Winnie because that's what I was craving, and how everyone followed me along on that journey. It was just so cute.
Yeah, Winnie made a lot of dilemmas.
She really did. My little baby angel.
Oh, and I got you that shirt. I just remembered the pregnancy shirt that says Future Petty Criminal.
And I still have it, even though no more babies are getting made in this body. I can't get rid of it. I mean...
Yeah, can it be a night shirt?
Yes, it can be a Taco Tuesday shirt when I want to fill up. And then the third, of course, I had to put this in there. Trevin's heartfelt talk about toxic masculinity, probably the most raw, vulnerable, open, emotional. I mean, I was crying on that episode.
Yeah, that one, not even just for me, but yeah, even for you, you had reacted pretty heavily to it.
Yes, it was a very, very emotional time. So I had to include it. Duh.
Yeah, and it was an entire episode dedicated to it.
Yes.
I was just like, I'm going to take a swing and do this for no reason. I think even my family was like, huh?
I think...
Actually, I know they were like that.
I don't think they were like, huh? I know they were.
Yeah. But I know it seems very out of the blue to have done that. But hey, we said we were going weird for the dry January.
It was dry January. It's been a weird time lately in news where we live and all around the world. And it just felt right and good. And like I said, sometimes it is nice for us to get a little vulnerable. So we had a couple comments before I announced the winner. Viviana said all of them. And Liz said, dang, this one is hard. I get it. This one is hard. But the winner with 67% of the votes, Trevin's heartfelt talk about toxic masculinity.
Oh, that makes me feel so good. That means that you guys at least preferred it to some point. And
yes.
whenever we want to take these jumps and get out of our comfort zone, we always say, like, nobody wants to hear that shit. So I told myself that a lot. So I am glad to hear that people enjoyed it. And I am hoping that it can kind of change some people's opinions and feelings. Because for me, I'll be honest, it made everything very difficult in my life. Like right after I did it, coming out, I think it affected a lot of different people in my family in different ways. But we worked through it, and we, didn't let something like that define us. And it actually helped me be more myself now around my family. And I'm still working on it, but it's just important to bring attention to these things so that you can work on it and do better instead of harnessing this like future regret. Like, oh, I know I'll regret this one day. Okay, then maybe I should do something about it.
Exactly.
Even if our show doesn't go anywhere, I know we're still trying to make it these days, but even if it doesn't, it's just like you and I have some really cool bookmarks and keepsakes and audio.
I know.
It's crazy.
It really, really is. And yeah, I think you deserve this because not only you deserve this award, Trevin, for heartwarming show moment, but you do because it was hard for you, not only professionally on the show, whatever, but personally. It was really brave, and it clearly meant something to the folks. So,
faux show. Well, thank you guys for feeling it with me.
Yes. Okay, so this next one is very silly. We have been talking about our pets on the show since episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Still to this day, they have made it in on Dreadful Dilemmas. I'm pretty sure they've made it in on a story or two, I'm sure. Many conversations. So the next category was most criminal cat.
Oh, just a cat. Okay.
And it's our personal cats, not, like we've done a lot of animal crimes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the nominees: Arlo, Amanda's cat, charged with disrupting the peace for bringing in countless wild animals. Harvey, Trevin's cat, charged with public urination for peeing up and down one side of the carpeted stairs. Or Boots, Trevin's cat, charged with destruction of property for puking in studio and chewing up cords.
He puked on that blanket too. That made me realize my washer was broken recently.
Oh my God, Boots. Well, it's funny that that's the one that stuck out because Boots got 0% of the votes.
I'm so normalized to that I still think the Harvey thing and the Arlo thing are worse as well. So yes.
Yeah. But with 67% of the votes, your precious Harvey girl takes the cake for public urination. We had a comment from our leading lady A-line that says, nothing else hits or misses like cat piss. I swear, no matter how much you clean, it's forever.
Yeah, just like their love.
So, yes, we had a couple comments and 67%, 33% said Arlo. So,
dang. Harv, that's a very iconic thing because my stairs to this day, coming down to the studio today, still have
aluminum foil.
Still have aluminum foil down one side. And Harv won't piss on any other part of the stairs, but just that left side of the stair.
You've had to restructure your whole living situation.
Yes, and it was even in my wedding vows.
Oh my God, yes.
That was one of the things in the speech that I said, we tackled that problem together.
It was a problem, but you continue to overcome it.
Yep.
Wow. Well, congrats to Harvey. Although she is very, very cute and very soft, she is a public urinator.
She is. We'll have to give her a little ribbon or something.
So the next one, and I did this for both you and I. First is me. So we are going to be doing the category for my best personal story. Can you think of what your favorite story of mine was? Do you have one off the top of your head? I did so many early on the early days.
Mm-hmm. I like the Patriot Poacher. That's iconic. The one about your dad throwing the girl or whatever was funny.
Yep. 2 of those are nominees, Trevin, so you're on the right path.
And the Highway Ass Magnet one is a good one too.
You literally just said the nominations.
Oh, God.
So you got it. You got it, Trevin. Okay, good. So I picked good ones. So all the way back on episode 4, titled Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Sexy.
You remember what that title was from?
Yes, because I found Zac Efron to be really hot playing Ted Bundy, and that was my dreadful dilemma, right?
That's right. You said he was too sexy to be Ted Bundy.
He really was. Still is. But that episode, Amanda's story titled The Patriot Poacher, about Amanda stealing American flags from porches. Still an iconic memory for me. I went to school in Emporia, Kansas. Shout out to anyone who may be there right now.
To all -5 of you.
And if you have an American flag on your porch, well, it is safe these days, but back when I was in college, they were not.
But I think we need the Patriot Poacher more than ever.
Honest to God.
Right now.
I agree. I still remember writing this one. I still remember how I wanted to really just build up the suspense and mystery. And it was one of the first stories that I kind of started it off with, like, the wind was whistling as someone walked out. Like, it was like my first time where I really, yes. So that one stands out to me. The next nominee, episode 8, titled Amanda's Murderlicious Birthday Extravaganza. And this was my story titled Birthday Bitch Battery, about when I was punched in the face by a stranger on my 21st birthday. Like you said, I got punched in the face. My dad, Papa Dennis, being the most loving, docile, kind, generous guy, was like, "Get off my daughter!" Whoa!
I got to do the voice of him for that.
And not many people can say that they were punched in the face by a stranger on their 21st birthday. So,
True.
Although it was painful and confusing, iconic nonetheless.
And Papa Dennis got to be a part of it.
It's all good when he's a part. And then my third and final nominee, episode 29, Highway Ass Magnet. Such a good name. Highway Ass Magnet. We were going to make merch with that on there. We still might one day. But
Yeah. If A-Line has a good design for that.
And it was my story titled Memoirs of a Mooning. My story about being mooned while driving to church directory jobs out in the country.
Yeah, you were telling me all about in that episode how to, or you had somebody came in and asked you to take a picture of them for their funeral or whatever.
Oh, yes. That was a very common request. Like, people would come in and they'd be like, this is going to be the funeral picture. It's going to be the last portrait I ever take. So I want it to look good. And I'd be like, well, goddamn, no pressure.
Yeah, I quit.
Yeah, like, high stress job. I don't get paid enough for this.
No.
So let's see who the winner is, Trevin.
Oh, it's a tough one. I feel like it's going to be one of the first two.
Before I announce the winner, I do have to read one of the comments. This is from Abby on Patreon. They said, not a crime story, but the heart nipple pasties on the mural is what I always remember.
I do love that dilemma.
For those who don't know, that can be an honorable mention, even though it's not a story. I like it. I wore heart-shaped nipple pasties to a Playboy party. My daughter found them, thought they were just fun stickers, and put them on her mural in her bedroom. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, and you told that story to Christine and Em, and I think they both thought you were just a freak.
Oh, 100%. So, Trevin, with 63% of the votes, birthday bitch battery. Amanda getting punched in the face by a stranger on her 21st birthday.
Hell yeah. I need to listen to that one again. Because I remember when your dad throws the girl, I made a weird sound effect of her like hitting the side of a building or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I told you.
So fake and funny.
Yeah. I need to re-listen too. I need to hear like the and the punch sounds.
Get
and the
off my daughter.
Oh, such good times.
You were saying with your Patriot Poacher saying the wind was whistling and stuff.
Yeah.
That's another thing I've thought about nostalgically lately. I almost made this a dreadful dilemma once, but at one point I woke up one day and I was like, are we authors? Like, I think we just became authors.
Yeah.
And I can think of so many stories back, like you said, like that was the one where you were being really descriptive. And I can remember, like, this was the first story where I started with just a scene before I went to the story.
Yes.
And then we did the feed drop with the review queens. We both swapped voices in it because only one of us read it. And
oh, yeah.
from then on, we thought, oh, let's just start writing lines for each other. It's interesting from the beginning to here to see just how we kept adding little new things going on.
Yeah. We never used to do a theme for each story where we started off with a paragraph of a general thought that encapsulated the following story. Like,
we used to do that in conversation before.
Yeah, just all of it.
But I realized I kept forgetting what I was going to build up to you. So then I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to start writing it in here because I can't remember my clever lead-in.
It's been a really gradual, fun way to improve on writing, really.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Write a story a week and see how good you are in 4 years.
Seriously. All right, Trevin, are you ready for your best personal story?
Is my sword story one of them?
It's not!
Oh my God. I even told that on Let's Not Meet.
I know. That can be honorable mention just because that one is iconic. It's bewildering. It's terrifying. It's bizarre as hell. But you have some really good ones that I also put on there, Trevin.
Okay.
But that is an iconic moment in time.
I think our friend Sarah even said that one always lives rent-free in her head.
Yes. Are there any other guesses?
I feel like I've lost my past completely after you asked me that question.
No worries. So he's like, my memory is wiped. Let's go. So kicking it back to episode 1. I had to include this one.
The Night Puncher.
Yes. So titled The Mellified Man Always Knocks Twice. Trevin's story, Beware of the Night Puncher. Local news story about a man ringing doorbells and punching people in the face.
Yes. I do still think very fondly of that. That story is the one that taught me that we could even do this show.
Yes. That was the very first one that you did.
We didn't even have sound effects. We were never going to plan to do sound effects. We were going to do just a parody of Crime Junkie and just say dumb shit over dramatic low music. And I had said, we punched him right in the face. I just grabbed a random punch sound effect and put it under some echoey sound effects. And I laughed so hard in my room all by myself. And I said, I have to go through with this. Like,
oh my God.
Made me laugh too much.
Trevin, iconic beginnings. Our next nominee, episode 16, Criminals in Disguise. Trevin's story titled A Mustache of a Different Color. Trevin's blue mustache story about being too drunk to be let into a bar. And then you had a whole bachelorette party draw a blue twirly mustache, right?
Yep, just smeared all over my face. On the 4th of July.
That is one that even at podcasting events, we've had somebody talk to you about. That's one that people know. How could you not remember the blue mustache, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I forget how iconic and stupid that makes me sound. So yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one. And then the very next episode is our next nominee because this is another...
I did 2 back to back?
But this is another historical personal story because everyone was in on it. It also was featured in a local Kansas City Pitch article. Episode 17, Seriously Sinister After Dark. Trevin's story titled The Villain. Story about your perpetual eviction band facing off with your realtor and the open house.
Another thing, this show has grown us, but like being around petty reading all day, and then you have some dude in your life being a jackass, it's like, I have to be petty because that's all I know anymore. And that was only 17 episodes in.
I know. All of these nominees for you and I are both very, very early, but I just think some of our best personal work really was during that time.
Yeah.
We've really gotten into more news, which is totally fine and great. And also, we're not Forrest Gump. We run out of crimes that we've been a part of.
Right. I'm trying to get more.
Yeah, me too. My God. So Trevin, with 67% of the votes.
Blue mustache.
A mustache of a different color. Trevin's blue mustache story.
That one is so good. I don't know why I drew such a blank on it right now, but that one is so good. I just cannot believe that was episode 17 when we did Perpetual Eviction.
I know.
I mean, I guess we weren't in that house for that long of the show until we were getting kicked out.
Yeah?
What? I mean, the show probably lasted 3 or 4 more episodes in that house before we were out.
Probably. That was such a weird time.
Yeah.
Can
and
you
that was
even
in the
believe?
beginning of this.
Oh, Trevin. I just keep saying humble beginnings, but it really was.
It really was.
Take your plans out of the group chat and get long weekend ready in new Abercrombie. From day to night, pack new outfits for every part of your itinerary. Grabbing brunch? Throw on the A&F Mila dress. Then head to your dinner reservation in their new bubble hem mini dress. And yes, permission to overpack for pics with the girls. Abercrombie's best-selling Scarlet Squirt deserves a post in your feed. Your plans are worth it. Shop Abercrombie's new long weekend collection online or in store.
Spring is here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
Lowe's knows how to help pros save. That's why the new MyLowe's Pro Rewards program lets you unlock exclusive member deals on the things you need every day on the job. Plus, MyLowe's Pro Rewards members can get volume discounts on eligible orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Exclusions, more terms and restrictions apply. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
So our next category, we talk about a lot of different characters in our writing.
Marty is an honorable mention today. Because Marty's kind of everybody.
I like to use Marty when, I'm just thinking of the average dude, really. Mm-hmm. But Marty does get an honorable mention for this category, okay? Mm-hmm. But here are the nominees. Trevin as the Mona Lisa.
Oh.
One Nut Tony.
Of course, yes.
Obviously. And then our third, Amanda as Witch Wanda. Now, this is a landslide. 91% of the votes go to One Nut Tony.
91 Nut Tony.
And I have to read this comment from Kitty Bear. He may have one nut, but he gets all my votes. One of my favorite reoccurring characters.
Aw, thank you, Kitty Bear. And Tony appreciates the love, I'm sure.
So for those who don't know, One Nut Tony, how many times do you think he's been brought back up in our stories? I wish there was an easy way to find that out.
I think I started tagging him a hashtag for One Nut Tony, I think now for new episodes on the Patreon, but I didn't go back and redo it.
Yeah.
Was he one of the members? I mean, I know I used him first and I can't remember honestly which story, but did you make him one of the three on the story where the guy went and dumped the milk on himself in the Walmart?
I think so.
I think so. Because I remember that might have been the first time when you used him, and I was like, okay, we'll just keep rolling with this.
Yep. What was the first one you brought him up in? You don't remember that one?
I'll try to find out myself, but...
He's been around for quite some time. One Nut Tony is something that just started from nothing, really, was thrown into a story. We kept reusing him. It's a funny thing. It's hilarious to just mention the one nut each and every time in different ways and varieties. He's beloved.
One of those things where with this show, a lot of times I think the first idea is kind of the best one sometimes. And One Nut Tony was not something I thought hard on, but
but I'm hard on.
It ended up being funny, and now it's an iconic thing. I love those happy accidents.
Or those happy endings, if you know what I mean.
We already did the sexy crime.
The next category does have a write-in, which has gotten a lot of hearts on it.
Oh.
So you and I are going to have to discuss between who got the most votes and this write-in and decide, I think, between the two.
Okay.
So the next category is for best episode title, which, Trevin, there have been 200 now.
Mm-hmm.
This is episode 200. I mean, so many titles, so little time.
Oh, God. Petty Aim Fire, Petty Petty Wee Wee, Funeral for a Fish, You Can't Blow So I'll Suck. Yeah, and so many dramatic, dumb parody titles.
So good. And the ones that I picked, actually, I have one from early days, one from middle days, and one from fairly recent days. So I love this mix. And what is so funny is that the write-in was also on my list, and I was torn. Do I leave it in? Do I not? Do I leave it in? Do I not? So I loved this one too.
Yeah, that's validating for you.
Yes. So our first nominee, episode 11, Chicken Soup for the Fragile Male Soul.
I do love that one.
How can you not? How creative.
Probably one of our first episodes where we just started dogging on a man and then was just like, this could be our brand.
You're like, even though I am one, it's fine.
Yeah.
Our second nominee, episode 73, All My Exes Live in Prison.
Yes. I came across this recently and I can hear you singing it every time, but I can't remember what sparked that title.
I don't know. I don't know if it was our...
Oh, was it the story about the guy who faked his own death?
Oh,
and then he went to jail?
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
We must have talked about exes in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And then my third nominee, episode 138, Chugging Down the Tracks of Lust.
And that was a big one because that was around the time we started doing TikTok videos, and it was one of the ones we repeated one time.
Yes.
When we had to miss an episode.
But the write-in title, and like I said, this was one of mine too that I was like, should it be in? Should it not? I can't believe I'm going to get wet for this.
That is a good one.
I mean...
Legoland, that's what it was about, yeah.
Okay, yes. Your Legoland experience is where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
Where you were like in the little kid ride and it was like Legoland for adults night and you're like, I can't believe I'm going to get wet for this.
Yes, because it was misting down on us in the shitty plastic seats in a waterproof movie theater.
So what do you think, Trevin? That one or Chicken Soup for the Fragile Male Soul? Because that one got 50% of the votes where the other two got 25 each. So it's between Chicken Soup for the Fragile Male Soul or I can't believe I'm going to get wet for this.
I feel like I can't believe I'm going to get wet for this.
I know. I feel like we should go with that just because A-Line did the write-in.
Okay.
We had multiple people agree and comment, and we had Amy write and say yep. We had Kirsty write and say yep. And I even commented, said I almost included that one. So I think I'm with you. I think we can crown I can't believe I'm going to get wet for this as the winner.
Yeah, thank you to the people for showing us.
Thank you, people.
The way it should be.
The way of the world. As we know, it's not a Live, Laugh, Larceny episode if someone's not taking a poo.
That's true. We have so much poop.
Love a good poop joke, love a good fart joke, and we love a shitty situation.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, our next category is shittiest situation. This one is kind of a big variety of episodes, one from early days, middle, recent as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's on there or not, but the teacher that ruined the girl's birthday party by dumping the poop all over the picnic tables.
Oh, see, that one's not included. Honorable mention.
It's got to be mentioned.
Honorable mention. I'm glad that you mentioned it. So many poop stories, Trevin.
Yeah, multiple poop stories that are just listener stories.
Oh, that's very true. But here are the nominees. Episode 8 from Amanda's Murderlicious Birthday Extravaganza, Trevin's story titled A Soiled Reputation, about the pooperintendent who gets caught taking a dump at the football field.
Yes, and he wasn't even his school. It was the rival school's.
That's right. I kind of want to go back and listen to that one. I don't know why.
All I remember in the story really was that he was foiled because there was a camera set up that caught him. And then also, I think I had made like a Zac Efron, like sexy high school boy character that even the coach was just like, that boy's got it all kind of a thing.
That's true. And didn't he make the excuse like, well, I was just walking at the track and had to go and the bathrooms were locked. And they were like, no, dude.
He said that he suffered from runner's diarrhea.
That's what it was.
And so, like, after he would get his run around the track, he'd just be like, oh, I got to let one out. But he did do it multiple times. So it's like, are you doing this because you don't like the other school? Or is it runner's diarrhea and you just don't think ahead?
And he got fired, right? And like blasted all over the local news. Pooperintendent, the super pooper.
Yeah, they put his name all over the place. Tramaglini was his last name. And I remember even you were like laughing at the trauma in his name.
The trauma of it all. Yep. Thomas Tramaglini. Yep. Our next nominee from episode 104, Pooped and Duped. Amanda's story about the woman who throws dog poop at her neighbor after a long history of rivalry.
He said, she said sort of a thing, right? Because there's two different sides to it.
But it was two she's. It was she said, she said. I immediately went to this one because of the title. I was like, Pooped and Duped. We clearly talked about poop. What did we talk about?
Yeah.
And
we probably both did in that episode.
Yep. That one was one where one of the women said that the poop was actually like smeared all over her face and her arm. And the other lady was like, no, I just threw it at her. And it's like, well, either way, it's not very cool.
How do you lose track of what happens to poop so easily between you two?
Just a shitty time. So our final nominee from episode 177, Taking Shit to Another Level, Amanda's story about Florida woman pooping in the elevator.
I love this story. One of my favorites of yours. And it's not like the grossest poop story. It's not the most outrageous poop to ever be taken.
No.
But the logistics of it and everything, the fact that she only went up like one floor.
One floor.
She didn't piece out of the building afterwards. She went to her appointment. Was there splashback? I don't know.
And it was at a courthouse,
At a courthouse, yeah. So a lot of things just don't make sense with this one. And that's, I think, one of the main reasons why it sticks in my head the most.
For sure.
You could have found a bathroom, I'm sure.
And apparently this is a common thing because we had a comment again from Kitty Bear that said, at my old job 10 years ago, there was someone who mysteriously pooped in the elevator, left their soiled boxes too. So elevator gets my vote.
You think they meant boxers?
I think she meant boxers. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Better leave these here.
If they were just carrying around soiled boxes, that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, getting 89% of the votes, taking shit to another level, the woman in the elevator, pooping in the courthouse elevator. I mean, I think that is kind of a fear that a lot of us have. I am afraid of just riding in an elevator.
And you're afraid of pooping your pants.
Yes, yeah.
So a combination.
Whether or not there's poop in it or not, but this is just like even worse.
I love those smaller things that can still stick to you, like more than a huge crime or whatever. It doesn't have to be a huge shitty crime. It's just a really weird and scarring situation.
Yes. You just walk right out and someone clearly is going to get right back in there. One floor?
I'm surprised she didn't get caught the second she walked out. Like, hey, you left something in here.
Get back here.
Excuse me, miss.
All right, Trevin, we have made it to our final category.
Oh boy, the biggest petty of them all.
This is the final one, and this is a really good, nice one to end on. Greatest original song. You have made so many parody songs over the years, Trevin.
Yeah.
And you sent me a few. I put in a few. I combined our answers because you sent a few that were totally different than the ones I was going to put on there.
I almost forget what's even out there anymore.
I know. But I went through them all and I was like, okay, there's so many good arguments for all of them. I love them all. But here are the nominees. Our first nominees, Knockers. This one had to be included. It was the first time you and I did a big collab together.
Mm-hmm.
It's a song that my daughter, and I know she's not the only daughter because Rachel from Like Mother, Like Murder, her daughter loves it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a bop.
It's so good. I mean, I know I made it, but I love it so much. I very rarely in my career of making music have written things that I've given other people to do.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see it in somebody else's hands and how it changed.
Yeah, because you recorded the entire song in your voice before I did it, which I still think the listeners need to hear that one day. It's so fun to hear Trevin be like, I just run the show with my Knockers.
Yeah, I did it very flamboyantly because I knew it was going to be given to Amanda.
It's so good. So good. The next nominee, Pumpkin Everything. Pumpkin PSL. Pumpkin Everything. This is one that I like to listen to every fall season. I know our listeners do. It's one that we did a funny TikTok to.
Yeah, we had an episode, and then we also did the Deck the Halls with Pumpkin Everything.
Oh, yes.
We referenced it twice in last fall's season. Again, kind of like the elevator thing, not the nastiest or craziest song I've written. Very easy. I threw it together very quickly, but it really spoke the pumpkin feeling to my soul.
Yeah, and a bop, nonetheless. Our final nominee, Butt Song.
The OG.
I'm eating butts for breakfast. I'm eating butts for lunch. Big old butt.
I still want to make a small TikTok video of that. I really wanted to do a TikTok of just a bunch of foods that look like butts. And
peaches.
One of my ideas was to have 2 buns at the end of a table and just have my eyes come up above it, just looking at the buns like hungrily.
We need to go to a grocery store and film some scenes where you just like have 2 big like melons. I mean, that's more Knockers vibes, I guess.
Yeah, we could still make it look
Either
buttish.
way.
Oh my God, that is so hard because I love Knockers with my whole Knockers.
I know.
With my whole butt.
I know. It's a very tough one. And people had a lot of opinions. We had a few comments. It looks like a lot of people were torn between the butt and the Knockers.
Aren't we all?
But with 73% of the votes, I'll just run the show with my Knockers.
Perfect. Honestly, I think Knockers deserves it, even though I don't know how many times we have gotten emails or responses from people that were like, oh, I just came across the butt song and now I'm in. Like, I'm in on the show. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like, a lot of people said that was the turning point for them.
And to give the butt song its due, I am going to read Kitty Bear's final comment. I love it, Kitty. Thank you so much for all the little comments along the way, because this has been so fun. So it says, butt song, always. You knew I was going to say this. I mean, I had you email it to me so I could use it for my wake-up alarm for like a year. 15 out of 10 would butt again.
And I love that support, Kitty. I'll never forget. I think you were one of 2 people that were just like, I need this now.
I mean, without people like you all that enjoy the ridiculousness, we wouldn't be here still to this day. 4 years later, 200 episodes in.
Yes, I remember I was so self-conscious when we very first started. Anytime I would try to get somebody to come on our show or anything, it's like I'd have to try to explain the bit. We make small things sound bigger and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people would just be like, well, that sounds stupid. I don't really want to play along with that. But now that we've made it seem so fun and inviting now, more people have been like, okay, I want to be a part of this.
I know.
I love that. There's been so much growth. And like you said, kept talking about the humble beginnings. How many different things have gotten in our way in doing this? We had the house problems. You got pregnant. You know, just all these different things.
Life events. So many things. But somehow, after all these years and all these episodes, we're still doing it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My mind is blown.
Every time I think I can't take any more, I keep doing it.
I know. I know. So what did you think of the results of the Petties, Trevin?
I think the Petties was great. It brought up a lot of memories.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to just look back like this because I have been almost kind of like I did on my 30th birthday. I mean, I know it's just been 4 years, but like 200 is a big number.
Yeah.
And as we were saying before we started this, our show has had like 3 lifespans. We were Seriously Sinister for like 70 episodes. Then we were like the middle Live, Laugh, Larceny. And now we're this one with this art. We've had 3 lifespans and most shows don't even make it to 1. I'm shocked that we've made it to 200 episodes. We have a big catalog, so hopefully if we ever get like super discovered, it's there for the people.
Oh, it is there forever, engraved into the petty parcels that are our show. Yeah, I'm just so grateful. This was a really fun way. Thank you again, Eric, for the suggestion. There was no better way to do a recap. We wanted to do something special, and I'm just really grateful for that idea because I was getting emotional a little bit when I was doing the research for it. I was like, we've done this and we've done that. Like, I know the categories are silly, but so much creativity and love has gone into this show, and it's just kind of crazy to see it all spelled out in this way.
I wanted to do something special for this episode, and I'm sitting here thinking of all these fun and big ideas or guests we could have had to come on. And, maybe it really was just to be raw, you and I, just kicking back and remembering it. I think that's what we really needed to be special. Not special on the sound design, but just special on the nostalgia, I guess.
Memories. But yes, it was good. It was a good walk down memory lane and with everybody. So I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope that we covered all of the nominees that you would have nominated yourself.
Let us know what you'd rather have.
Yes.
Or what you were thinking while this was going on.
Because I guarantee you there's at least 1 or 2 people out there listening right now shouting at the screen being like, why didn't you say this one? Why?
I love the Pettiest season. That was such a good Christmas song.
Yeah. Like maybe they're like, oh my God, they didn't cover this crime in this whole thing. And if that's you, please comment and tell us what it is, because this can be a thing that we keep talking about. It's been really fun.
Yeah, and maybe if you guys can help spread the word and we can get big enough, we can hire somebody to go through and fix all of our notes and can help us not miss anything.
I know. It would be much easier.
Yes.
For the future. But in the meantime, I just hope that everyone is having the best week. And just remember, no matter the crime, big or small, in the end, we're all doomed.
Doomed to do another 200 episodes.
Bye.
See ya.
If you want to join the fun like the rest of our patrons who got to vote on the Petties, come on over to our Patreon. We have bonus content, movie nights, ad-free episodes, and more.
And did you disagree with the results of the Petties? Jump on social media and find us. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or Threads. Live, Laugh, Larceny.
And do you have a petty crime story pettier than the rest we've covered? If so, send us your crimes. livelaughlarceny@gmail.com.
And make the next 200 episodes easier for me to make. Let's blast us into the stratosphere. Rate us wherever you rate your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or Good Pods.
Our next nominee is from episode 29. Again, Highway Ass Magnet. Great episode, clearly. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong one.
Okay, well, you can hold that.
Clearly.